Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Matthew and today we're taking a look at one of the most legendary Godzilla villains of all time. Wait a minute. This isn't the right figure brand. That's more like it. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Matthew and today we're taking a look at one of the most iconic and very cool Godzilla villains of all time, SpaceGodzilla, in the form of a new SH MonsterArts review, the SH MonsterArts Fukuoka, or Final Battle version. And this is going to be another remaster because I am a bit underwhelmed with the way the other one was done. But as a whole, this is going to be part of, like, again, the more 2025 remastered HD versions of these older reviews. So yeah, with that said, this was honestly a figure I was not initially planning to get until I saw a listing that popped up, and it was like, you know, it was within my price range, you know, let's get it. So I did, and now I have it. There is a bit of a drawback, which we'll talk about because I got it used. But with that said, this is again the Fukuoka. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that name right. It's basically where the final battle in Godzilla vs. SpaceGodzilla, the movie, takes place. And yeah, that's basically what this version of it is specifically based on. But with that said, is this guy worth the third version? Because there's the original, the little SpaceGodzilla set, and now this guy. Or is it just proof that MonsterArts is just running out of ideas? Let's find out. Now, the most obvious thing of which would be to point out the accessories. Unfortunately, this guy, at least my copy, didn't come with any. Yeah, that's the drawback I was talking about. Basically, when I was talking about how I was using it, I got it a little bit cheaper than it usually goes for. That's kind of like the trade-off here, because I did talk to the seller. I'm not gonna like list any reason here, but let's just say there was a specific reason why this guy didn't come with any accessories, and I'm probably not gonna say what it is. I'm just gonna let you guys know that there is a reason. But effectively, this guy is just the bare bones figure, no accessories. Which, if you guys are wondering what it actually came with, it came with alternate shoulder crystals, which, yes, you can take these off, which we'll discuss in a second. And also came with like these energy like electricity. I think they were blue. Like you could literally slide them onto them, and it looked really cool. Again, sadly, I don't own them. But that said, I'm still fine with owning this guy because, I mean, technically speaking, this is like, as far as owning an SH MonsterArts SpaceGodzilla figure for like the cheapest one you can get, it's this or not that. So unfortunately, yeah, that is gonna have to be like my case. But I'll throw a picture up on screen here just so you can see. There you go. And yeah, so that's basically what it's supposed to look like. But for the, let's assume we did. How do you take them off? Well, you're going to see this seam line here. You can kind of see what I'm starting to tug. So literally all you just got to do is like pull it upwards, maybe shimmy it a little bit around. And you're going to see that, that it's entirely translucent. And of course the ugly as hell peg. Of course that's supposed to be covered up, but both sides can do it as well. This side I think was the problem child because like it just refused to be taken off. But I did have to do a lot of like extra work to actually get the shoulder crystals off. But basically for the shoulder crystals, which we'll just kind of segue into sculpt and paint, the actual like look of them here, it's very well done. We have like a nice translucent white here. Looks very nice for the frosted tips. And then we kind of like go from there to like where the kind of goes to the skin. And you get like this pink hue, which really kind of like gradientifies itself. You know what it almost looks like? Almost some sort of like mountain range, although those are very pointy mountains. Almost like a canyon range, you know? But of course this is SpaceGodzilla, not a canyon range. Mine's got a bit of like paint crud on it. I don't know if that's like a scuff. I don't think it is a scuff because this is just the same color as this, if not a little bit less painted. I really gotta like focus on that. There we go. A little bit of crud here. Not too bad in the way of scuffs. Mine's got a little bit of a scuff there, so I guess that is. But yeah, just one more walk. Same thing on this side here, although I'll note is that this side has a bit more red on some parts than this one does, so that's interesting, because like when you segue it into the body, it is gonna almost looks like these two pieces can like connect together to create like this, I don't know, weird thing. Anyway, but also you're gonna see like the pegs in question have like a certain like shape. So I don't know if this is this the right I don't know. Well, that's also a problem, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, you're gonna notice that the peg is in a very specific shape. There's like sharpened corners and then kind of like curls back up. So it's flat side here, and then it kind of gets rounded off more towards the other side. So of which it does look pretty well, like when all things are put back together. Let's try and find it. There we go. There we go. Come on. There we go. So that is going to be the shoulder crystals. I think overall the shoulder crystals are done beautifully. But let's take a look at the actual head, because that's the thing that wanted to be taken a look at. So for the head here, the eyes are going to be pretty damn sweetly. Let's actually zoom in there and give you guys a nice extended look. I don't know how well oh, there you go. Those eyes look very well detailed. They have like little like triangular patterns among the iris. You get like a bit of yellow to orange, yellow eyeball within itself. That looks nice. And a black pupil. Translucent orange crown here, which looks very well done. And of course you have like a navy blue for the base skin. And of course you get some individually painted, sculpted dorsal plates, or spikes in this case. I do apologize for the fur because I do have cats. For the actual mouth here, the teeth are individually sculpted and individually painted, which I do appreciate as well. They have like the sharp mandibles, which also, by the way, are highlighted with purple. Like that adds a whole flare of color. Let's take a look at the inside of the mouth here. As you can see, we have all the wavy details here with the tongue and the mouth. Looks very disgusting and unnatural, but I mean, it's a space Godzilla. What do you expect? No throw hole, but you do get a lot of that nice gum paint. Let's take a look at the bottom of the jaw. Nice wavy patterns, and then you get to the purple on the neck, which looks very nice. I do like the fact that they did include this purple, or like very dark. Actually, it's not really a maroon. That's more of a red. Anyway, let's kind of like go back up here. There we go. So yeah, just a bit of a extra look-sees at the head. Coming down to the chest here, because we already took a look at the shoulder crystals, we get more of that nice purple, like the dry brushing, and it looks really killer. Like, look at that. All the nice wavy patterns on it and the nice dry brush. Like, just look at that. It's very glossy. Brings out a lot of the details, shockingly, which is something that gloss doesn't typically do. Floppy tail back there, but we do have more like the red accents, which I think could also double as like blood, because Space Godzilla did bleed in the movie, although I think that was just from Mogera's crystal. I don't know, I had to rewatch the movie mainly for Godzilla-thon, which is happening soon. I know I keep saying that, but now I feel like I have a dead set date as to when I'm doing it. Anyways, for the arms, they're itty bitty in comparison to the rest of the body, but for the hand claws, we have, again, the purple mixed in with the white, giving it a very extra frosted look, which is something I really hope more MonsterArts figures do. Like, actually add some, like, gradients for the claws here. Don't want to be, like, misaligning all the joints here. But, yeah, we have the nicely sculpted things here as well. So you can see. We have the V-cut at the crotch, which looks all pretty, actually, interesting. It almost doesn't even look like out of Godzilla. It looks very wavy and very I don't even know how to say that. But yeah, has a lot of nice different details. Of course, we have the sides here. Not too much to comment with the sides. However, I think what deserves a compliment are the dorsals. Now, at first glance, the dorsals don't look anything that impressive. Ooh, they're shiny, smoothened out crystals. Oh boy, DG. Well, to that I say, I love not only the look of them, but the color. Because the original, if I remember correctly, because again, I don't own the original and I never came across the original, probably never will, but this is fine as it is, actually had like full white dorsal plates. Here, much like the movie design, or well, what he does in the movie, actually like different dorsal plates like shine different colors. Almost like the, I know this would be like way later in the actual like release order, but Godzilla 2002, because his dorsal plates like flicker different colors. Well, not different colors, but at different times. So this dorsal plate would be a different color, this one would be a different color, and it would look very, very mismatched. The same thing goes with here. So there's no like single row dorsal plates that are all like white or either pink, because you have these ones that are pink, this one, this big one back here mainly, as well as like these two back there, this one, that you get. If I did have a bit of like a minor complaint, I don't like the fact that some of them are just painted on like this, because it definitely looks a little iffy in some aspects. Because I mean, look at these, and then you have like this, which let's try to, there you go. Also a little bit of scuffs every here and there, but let's get back to the main body. The thighs here are going to be very much navy blue. It don't have a whole lot of dry brush, which for the design I can understand, because SpaceGodzilla definitely didn't have like a whole ton of washed color to him. Well, we do have like an interesting eye cap. I always wondered what kneecap. I've always wondered why the kneecaps always look like another set of eyes. Like, look at that. That looks like a straight up eyeball. Like, those are the eyelashes and that's the pupil. Now you probably can't unsee it. But because of that, we also have a very big, bulky foot here, which standard 4-toed feet, and we have the return of the purple gradients to the white frosted tips, and again, just looks beautiful. A little bit of scuffs here, but that's all right. A little bit of detail underneath the foot, just to keep itself more acquainted. And of course, we have the long tail, which for MonsterArts standards, it's pretty average length. It's probably a little longer than the 94 Godzilla, which like I probably will never own. But I mean, hey, I didn't say that about any of these MonsterArts figures. Now I own 7 of them, so never say never. Before the crystals, again, going back here, we have some white, some pink, and then right here, and then from here on out, the rest is just white. I don't really like that, because I definitely feel like they could have kept the gradient, the like mismatched colors kind of going. Also, I don't remember if this was part of the design, but I do wonder why this dorsal plate's like out of alignment with the rest of them. That's probably the design, because a lot of them are. I don't know. Again, it's been a long time since I watched versus SpaceGodzilla. But yeah, we have all these different crystals, and then we have all the way going down here, which where we get to like, also it's worth mentioning that there would be 3 rows, and then now there's only 2 of them. Until we get to this crystal tip, which, oh my god, this looks so cool. Just look at that. Trying to like really focus in on here. There you go, look at that. And for the underside of the tail, the purple makes a return. The segments do kind of get a little out of alignment, but there you go. So for one last look, here's the angle the camera back up. Got check, readjust, side, this side, down below, too slow. The front here, I think I already did that side, whatever, from the top, bird's eye view. Anyway, so that's the MonsterArts SpaceGodzilla Fukuoka Final Battle version, whatever you want to call it, sculpt and paint. I think this figure is awesome. Like, as far as the actual look of the figure, I'm trying to pop the head back on. There you go. It looks visually very well pleasing. There's really little I have of like any sort of issues. I will say the only real big issue is more of, again, a minor nitpick. But I feel like the way that the dorsal plates were painted, like the pink ones primarily, could have been done a little bit better. Because if you're paying like, I don't even remember how much this thing was at MSRP. Like a good amount of money. I feel like they could have done something, especially with, like, if you can make something like this translucent, you can make something that small translucent, I bet. But for as it stands, I'm going to say 9 out of 10 for the sculpting and paints. Very beautiful. Oh, good heavens, the articulation. So for the jaw, we have a, I believe it's a ball joint, but effectively you can get mainly a hinge. So trying to like push it as down as I can, you can get it that far out, that far in. There's no tongue articulation, it's static to the body. And for the head, you do get a mild ball joint. You can look a little bit left, a little bit up, a little bit down. But as you saw earlier, mine has a bit of a problem. Yeah, so it turns out that the neck loves to pop off on mine, or the head, sorry. And even when you plug it back in, it's such a pain in the butt to actually like keep it with the figure flush. Like, goddamn. Which also kind of segues into the neck articulation, which let's see if I can move this thing without popping off the head. Ready? So we're gonna try and rotate it. Oh, nope. Okay, so what's going on here? If anyone has seen my past reviews of the 1994 mechagodzilla sculpts, you would have realized that basically for what they did with that figure was they had a ball peg that stuck from the head, went through the neck socket into the shoulders. That's kind of what MonsterArts did here, except I think this sculpt is older than that. So I guess technically they did it first. So yeah, just to give you guys a little bit of look-sees, we have like a ball peg here, and then it kind of cups into a bigger joint, and then it plugs it all the way to the neck. So effectively, this neck piece isn't even an actual joint. It's just a cover-up, but it's a sleeve. Let's pop that freaking thing on. I'm gonna be right back. Okay, so the good news is I got the neck joint back on, and I did try my best to pop that head back on, but let's see how well it stays. So, dragging the tail along. For the shoulders, this part of the shoulder doesn't really have an articulation, but for here, we actually have the bicep, which has a little bit of motion, so you can go kind of up and down, twist a little bit in there, side, up, down, side to side, okay, a little bit. It's plugged into here on a ball peg, and what I like about it here is that there's actually this free-floating piece, or maybe it's not a free-floating piece, that like shifts up and down, and you can actually like align it with the figure as it goes up or down, like that. How creative is that? This side, okay, mine does it a little bit. There's a bit of like trouble with it because it doesn't stay. For the shoulder hinge or the elbows, we can go bend out about that far, go in about that far, can spin the forearm and at the elbow itself, and we have a ball joint here for the wrist, trying to get back everything into alignment. Here we have a very flimsy waist. There goes the head. Here we have a very flimsy waist. I say flimsy because this thing loves to pop out on me, as you can see. Although interesting that this is, hold on. Is this thing, because sometimes this pops out right here. That is interesting to me. Hold on, let me try something. Oh god, nope, nope, get that back in, I heard a snap, Okay, good, I didn't break anything. I heard a snap. So, yeah. I was trying to like take off the whole thing, so I'm just going to leave that head off for the rest of the review because I am done dealing with that thing. But yeah, effectively you get a ball joint here, just to show the back, here and there, and the two joints work in conjunction can actually get a very nice amount of movement, although I think one of the joints is off. Yeah, there, it's off. I'll be right back again. Alright, so there you go. It's actually a pretty tough cookie in order to get back in, and I didn't even get any milk to dunk it in. So for the thighs, not so much like spreading motion, you get a little bit, mainly towards the left thigh. But what's cool about this is you can actually get a near full 360 spin with the leg. I'm not going to try and get a full 360 because like it's so close yet it's so far away. It's very well expressive. For this leg though, you can't get really much of a back and forth motion. You can get something, but the knees are mainly what kind of keep the figure going. So the knee here can straighten out and bend. It's a double segmented knee with this as like a free floating piece. And he also can swivel and ball joint here at the foot, which is like a double peg here, as you can see. And of course we have a series of ball joints here throughout the entirety of the tail, which also some of them are free-floating pieces like this guy. Trying to find another one here. This one, I'm not pointing out all of them, just like a few examples, but yeah. Go up, straight down, down, side. Although mine does, unfortunately, flop. Like, doesn't stay up. You really have to, like, MacGyver it to keep its pose, but even then it only works for, like, part of it. And what I like about this tail is that even when you, like, shift it upward, it keeps the paint going. The power of earlier MonsterArts figures just coming back, huh? Anyway, so let's put on the head. I will be factoring in like the joint tolerance system because I do think joint tolerance is like almost a make or break for some people. But for articulation, I feel like this figure has the right intentions of where articulation goes, because absolutely, who doesn't want like a fully articulated SpaceGodzilla? But at the same time, there are a few drawbacks. For example, like the head constantly popping off, the waist constantly popping off, and the loose tail. However, parts of that could just be attributed to the fact that I did get this thing used, so I will go a little nice on this thing. If I did have some wishes, I almost do wish that the whole shoulder here moved like Destroyers did. Like, Destroyer had a whole damn wing. If SpaceGodzilla with his puny little shoulder crystals by mere comparison can't have him, come on. Also, I do kind of wish that the tail wasn't so like dependent on the free floating joints, because again, this is a figure that you really have to have a lot of patience and tolerance for. But aside from those issues, I think that it turned out pretty great. So I'm going to give the sculpt and paint a the articulation, sorry, a 8.5 out of 10. So for some size comparison and size reference, here he is compared to some 6-inch basic Godzilla figures with the modern live-action Toho Godzillas, with the NECA Shin Godzilla Atomic Blast variant, and the Godzilla -1 Monster Roar Attack series line. I don't know, they come up with weird names like Monster King, Movie Monster series, the Monster Roar Attack, the Deformation King. Like, come on, Bandai, they're creative, but let's get a little bit more mainstream with it. Anyway, yeah, they're obviously not in scale. Shin Godzilla is close to his scale, but like realistically speaking, SpaceGodzilla is supposed to be 120 meters, Shin Godzilla is 118 meters, and -1's 50.1 meters, if I remember correctly. Although -1 definitely has the biggest, bulkiest feet on them all, so there's that. And here he is compared to the Bandai America Godzilla 2000 figure from a few years ago. And of course, another years ago figure, the Trendmasters Fangbite Godzilla. I think you're the Fangbite. Again, the Trendmasters milked like so many freaking variations. There was the that one that like shot the missile, and then you like have a little trigger at the back. I don't know, it was one dorsal plates. They made like a giant version of them, almost as big as that one. And they made like some minifigures, the one with like open heads. You get the guy. You get the clue. But obviously, again, scale be damned here. SpaceGodzilla is supposed to be taller than both of them, but I do kind of like this pairing, you know? I don't know, there's just something about that pairing I like. And finally, of the MonsterVerse Godzilla and Kong variety, here he is compared to some Playmates Godzilla Kong figures from the New Empire with the Real Feel Godzilla and the Real Feel Kong, which it's very hinted at by not only the plot synopsis and the title being Supernova, but also by cast and crew members posting stuff about SpaceGodzilla on their stories on Instagram. Which all I'm just going to say is this: legendary. This is your one time using SpaceGodzilla. Unless you guys renew the rights, this is your one time using him. Don't screw this up. If I had things my way, we would do it like this. Booyah. And to fully round out this review, I'll put this on again. I guess not, because I accidentally unplugged it. What do I think of the Playmates, looking at the Playmates SpaceGodzilla when I said that. What do I think of this guy? He's incredible, honestly. He's probably, like, base on base, my favorite MonsterArts figure, although he might be tied for Ghidorah, which will be the next one coming online soon. But that said, yeah, he's very good in my opinion. He has a very great sculpt, really good paint applications and an articulation range that just kicks butt. Unfortunately, again, I did buy mine used, so I don't have things like the accessories to go with him, but I do imagine for those that do buy him mint or used with the accessories, you're going to have a ball with those. But I don't imagine those crystals are hard to make at all. I think they require things like hot glue or something, and like tinfoil, tray, mold. I don't exactly remember. But anyways, that's gonna have to about do it. I personally rate this figure a 9 out of 10. I'm pleasantly surprised. There's very little to complain about. Who knew that the earlier MonsterArts figures would be the best ones? Anyways, that's all I have for this video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, everyone.